Yeah, let's see. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yep, yep. There you go, bro. There you go, Scott. Yep. You're always useful, bro. I would say flowering time. Flowering time, guys. To me, that's just like a very generic thing. It's done when it's done. Like, use your eyes. And I know a lot of people want that on like the packs and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, it's like, well, if it's 65 days and the thing's not done, well, keep on fucking rocking it. Most of the stuff is going to be around 60 to 65 days. The Karma Sour Diesels, you're going to have some exceptions as far as that goes, which we've kind of seen in the main chat and things of that nature. But really, you're going to have some things on the ends of the spectrum as far as, okay, well, this did this. Like, say a Mai Tai cross that's going to go, you know 50-55 days, something like that, and you might have another one in the same pheno hunt that might want to go 63 to 65 days. So it's kind of one of those things. You just got to fucking judge it. you know all plants are different. Everything's going to be different as far as phenotypes and stuff like that. So I'm personally not one of the people that's like, has my little eyeglass out and I'm like, oh, it's amber trichomes. No, man. Like when you see the thing and you have like some silver hues on it and everything as far as that goes, you can tell it's finishing up. Calyxes are popped out. A lot of the pistils are receding and stuff like that. It's time to go you know and depending on when you want to do that, you might have more THC content if you take it a little bit earlier, or you can let it kind of do its thing, decarboxylate a little bit as far as that, break down more into CBD, and then you can take those a little bit later as far as that goes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was just trying to take care of some of those first questions, brother, before you got back. Let's see. I'm ball game 239. The nose on the high chew is really insane. I I don't really know how to describe it, and we're kind of chatting in the officers chat today about how to describe it. Um, I would say it's like a loud kind of cherry gas thing with, it's got some old school funk in there. I will say that. It's not just some fucking like cherry pie type fucking thing as far as that goes. It definitely does have some funk in there as far as that goes. Um, and it's been one of mine that I've honestly, like, terp profiles that I've just really, really been stoked about, and something that, for me anyway, I found was really, really special. You know, and when I got that in, and we ran it for a little while. It was a hard plant to nail, quite frankly, before we did some of the crosses with it. But obviously that's why I did the crosses. I felt it was fucking fantastic. It could be worked, and really the high chew when we did it and what we selected on, in my opinion, was taken kind of like the now and later, if you will, times about 10. So it really just fucking kicks that thing up, to the point where that's kind of where I wanted it. Let's see, the Devil Driver line. How does the BB line compare? Well, think about it, bro. Um, we made the Black Velvet off of the Devil Driver line. There's been a lot of blueberry stuff coming out of there, which I thought was actually pretty unique. I think that it really depends, like with the Devil Driver, that it was really, really special actually working with that. And I was talking with Tiki about that the other day. Um, it it's got a lot of kind of some fruity, unique things going on, but it also is kind of transparent with some other stuff. So, like when we made the Dante's Inferno and stuff like that, um, it really was just like the best of both worlds, like a fucking perfect storm, quite frankly. So for me, it's like there's probably two cuts that are kind of the most famous ones. You got Mile High Dave's, um, who I really appreciate him for kind of putting that out there and everything for what it's worth. And then there was the Black Velvet. And I personally wanted to work the Black Velvet, not saying that his is inferior in any regard because it's a great fucking cut. I like the color on the Black Velvet. I thought it'd be a good fucking tool to work with, and that's kind of why we went with that one. Um, and I think a lot of people like I probably should have marketed that differently for what it's worth, guys. Um, I probably should have, basically said, this is a Dante's Inferno feminized mix with the Black Velvet selected pheno. But it is what it is, you know. And I think most of you guys probably know that. Um, but yeah, I feel like the Dante's Inferno was fantastic. The Devil Driver was fantastic. That's why we did, two versions of that and everything. So, very, very, very happy with how that all turned out. Yeah, everything's gonna be environmental as far as that goes. And you're totally right, brother. Like there's gonna be a lot of times where, my flower time of like 63 days, something like that may not be yours. You may have a 67, to 70-day flower time on stuff, depending on nutrients and, say, you fuck up a week or something like that and thing gets locked up and you got to get back on track as far as that goes, which by the way happens to us as well. So we're talking kind of in a perfect world in that regard. So I just want to everybody to be aware of that. Let's see what else we got, guys. Yeah, the color on the Black Velvet is fucking phenomenal, man. I've been very, very happy with how all of those have turned out. And like I said, I think it could have been marketed better on my behalf. Um, as far as essentially saying it's, Dante's Inferno, which fucking apparently everybody wants. But the color on that and all the anthocyanins and stuff like that that comes out like at the end has been just fantastic for all those crosses. Is Dave's a sweeter pheno of Dante's? I don't really know. I haven't personally, honestly, real talk. I haven't grown Dave's cut. We chat and everything, and he seems it seems like a really really good cut. So I can't personally speak on if it's sweeter, but it looks like a baller cut too. So I would encourage you guys. I think he's making some seeds off of it. So hats off to him. Hats off to him, and definitely go get some of those if you guys are interested. Is it too late to pop beans for the outdoor season here in New Mexico? I wouldn't imagine so. I mean, what is it? I don't even know what the hell the date is. May 7th? No, no, definitely not. But get that shit going. Zero gravity stuff coming in the future. I feel like I've kind of done my stint with the zero gravity. I don't want you guys just to like keep getting the same rehashes of well, no pun intended, but rehashes of the same shit over and over and over. I kind of feel like we've gone through the zero gravity train and had a lot of stuff like that come through there that's been really, really fire. We've gotten some good phenos. We might work some things as far as like selections from some of those. But when it comes down to it, I'm really not interested in kind of like revisiting that or anything of the sort. But we do have a lot of stuff that's still solid. I'm sure it's on the site and everything as far as that goes. I know a lot of people that have gotten some really fire phenos out of some of those crosses. Um, I think it was a really good line, but we got to keep moving forward here. And that's just kind of real talk here as far as that goes. Let's see. Any new collabs on the horizon, Supreme? Yeah, me and Tiki are gonna do some more stuff. We got some Headhunter that we're gonna be doing collabs on. Um, Other than that, nobody's really reached out for me as far as doing some more collabs. But obviously Tiki and I have been really solid with stuff, and I feel like we both do good business. It's very hard to find people in the industry right now that do good business, and I will say that. So yes, we do have some headhunter stuff that's going to be going on, and that'll probably fit in. Let's see. So we got the blue raz, we got the gastronaut. I would say right after that is kind of when you're going to get the headhunter and things of that nature that we'll be going through. And I'm pretty stoked on that. I always love doing collabs with him. He's a great fucking guy. He's a good businessman, and like I said, it's few and far between with some of these guys that kind of are in the industry. And I'm not trying to talk down on anybody or anything as far as that goes, but it comes down to business and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys can appreciate that as far as that goes. So I think that he's somebody, and I would like to think, the same way in my regard, that works well when it comes down to that. So let's see what else we got. Uh, Sorry guys, I'm just kind of going through the chat right here. Yeah, the Mai Tai 4 and zero gravity is going to be stupid good. The astronaut status is just fire. Oh, yeah, dude, she's beautiful. Will there be a pre-order on Dante's Inferno? Um, I would think since I do it, me and Tiki usually when we do collabs, I usually do a pre-order, and guys, more so that's kind of for the breeders and some of the seed banks and stuff, so they don't buy and overstock on things and it doesn't move. It's nothing more than that. It just gives us an idea of kind of what the demand is on things like that and gives them a better idea of kind of what's going on here, so they're not going to be stuck with a bunch of fucking stock on stuff that maybe the consumer doesn't want. Now granted, it's Dante's Inferno, so I get it, but when you're doing a whole line on stuff, there's going to be stuff obviously, and you guys know, that's going to sell better than other stuff. So it just makes sense to do a pre-order so they don't you know blow their load on too much stuff and can't sell a lot of the stuff. So that's kind of why we do pre-orders and stuff like that. It's really nothing more than that. We just kind of want to gauge the public as far as the demand on certain strains and things of that nature. Strawberry cherry terps. Oh, mango terps. I mean, I don't know, like the melon ball that we did with the papaya and stuff like that. That won first place in the IC Cannabis Cup, IC Forum Cannabis Cup, and I think me and Tiki took also third on that too. So I think we got first and third, something like that. Exotic farms. That would be right up your alley. Yeah, melon ball. Yep. No more peach Oz crosses. I made those like, dude. I made those probably 7 years ago, something like that. Jar Jar, like, for me, that was one of the first breeding projects that I did as far as regs and stuff go. I'm really not a big reg guy. You guys know that. But I just thought fuck it. We'll put it out there for $50 if you guys want it. You really can't lose, quite frankly, in my opinion. So let's see what else we got. What makes it's easy. All right. What makes you decide on what strain to go to next, or do you smoke? Um, that's kind of what I was alluding to when I was talking about the zero gravity crosses and stuff like that, man. For me, I'm always trying to go on to the next thing, and if I get too like in a corner with something, I feel like it's time that we go in a different direction. You know, you can work lines, and that's cool, you know, but at some point, you kind of just get yourself cornholed here, sitting here, and you're just doing the same shit. And for me, I don't like doing that. And, I'm not talking shit about other breeders or whatever. If they want to do that, absolutely, dude, do your fucking thing. But for me, I have a couple different things that I want to go through, and different lines that, for me, like even next year, I have stuff planned out. That's kind of where I want to go with stuff. And like I said, you do. All right, so say we did the Mai Tai and the zero gravity, right? Well, it's time to do something else. Let's see what some of these other things have to offer. And I know a lot of breeders, talk shit about stuff like that, but I'm not the type of guy to do line breeding for 5 years and do the same fucking thing recycled over and over and over. Everybody, you get tired of that. And it's not even like the growers, but a lot of the consumers and your clientele, a lot of your guys' clients, they want to see new shit all the fucking time. So let's give them some new shit. And that's really what it boils down to, you know? And I don't know if that's too harsh or what, but that's kind of my thought process as far as that goes. Like, let's keep fucking progressing this thing. Let's keep moving down the road. Let's not recycle the same old shit that's been done for fucking the last decade. Let's not make some more fucking cookies crosses and shit like that. Let's do some other stuff that's really interesting to you guys that has some different terpene profiles that totally takes something in a new direction. Sorry, I see like 100 new messages here. Okay, I'm trying to go through these guys. I apologize. Um, Collab with Canorado. Yeah, man. He's a good fucking dude, man. And we've definitely done stuff together. He's a good homie. I know he kind of has his own thing going on. Um, so I've hit him up and everything. Everything's solid, but if he's doing his thing and yada yada, that's just how it is. But we definitely have worked together, traded stuff over the years and everything. So I really like Canorado. He's a good fucking guy. Let's see. Yeah. Pretty much everything's getting sorted right now. I got a bunch down that I've been sorting, and then I have a bunch that they'll be ready to sort here, I would say tomorrow. Um, so we'll get some like definitive, um, lists as far as that goes and everything. When you're making stuff, you can put in everything you want and, this and that. But when it comes to actual pollinations and, if are these pollinations successful and whatnot, that's really what it boils down to. So it's hard, I'll give you guys, like a lineup that, like in my head, this is like the perfect fucking one. Does it always happen that way? No, it doesn't. And that's just real talk. Um, but they're looking really, really good from what I'm seeing. I did some Zope, some RS11 today, some blueberry muffin. Let's see what else. Let's see, some S1s. So it really just depends, Like I said, you hope for the best, and if some stuff pollinates, well, great. Like something like Mac One or like Smarties or whatever. As far as that goes, they really don't pollinate well. So it's really hard for me to, you know, say, oh, I'm going to have X amount of packs or something of this regard, or oh, did this pollinate? Um, I give you guys an idea as far as like my list, but that doesn't always, translate to the actual final product. And, if something doesn't pollinate or if the seeds look like shit, something like that, I'm not going to bring it to market, so it's just kind of one of those things. Astronaut status 24. Dude, that thing was just a fucking beefcake. I put up a bunch of those posts in the if you just even search in the Discord. Like that thing was damn near, I think it was like 3.6 or 3.8 a light that we pulled off that fucking thing. It was just ridiculous. How important is it to network in this cannabis world? Networking is fucking everything. It's absolutely everything. It is the difference between succeeding and fucking absolutely failing and falling flat on your fucking face and losing all of your goddamn money. Straight up, real talk right there. And I've seen it, and I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it for the last shit 15 years now, basically. Networking is everything. And that's always been one of my biggest things as far as um, doing good business with people, not fucking people, not burning bridges, doing things of that nature that keep you in the industry and keep you relevant. All right, let's see what else we got. Thoughts on 12-12 versus 11-13? I feel like that's very irrelevant. You're really not going to see a big difference whatsoever. I don't know why you'd go 11-13. Quite frankly, you can skew your light cycle a little bit with some of the different like sativa based like landrace strains and stuff like that, but for most of these polyhybrids and stuff we got going, I wouldn't fuck around with that. I wouldn't think I'm nice or anything by doing like an 11-11, 13, something like that. I'd just keep the standard 12-12, rock it out and fucking crush it, dude. Yeah. No, Maurice, you're right, dude. That's what I'm saying. Stuff that's more sativa based, you definitely will want to maybe skew it a little bit. You can still get by with it, but if you want to be super pro and stuff like that, you're right. You're right. I'm kind of looking through here. Alpha Runs is fire. Cameron. The FPOG will be really solid as well. Any old school strands on the horizons for projects. I really, I don't know. I'm not. Well, it depends. I've been kind of getting some stuff back, some older school stuff, but I don't think I'm going to be doing like, you know, super old school lines. Will we like integrate that with some of our new stuff? Absolutely. Everything's a cycle here. Everybody, you know, at some point, I guarantee y'all, you're gonna want fucking Blue Dream again. Okay, real talk. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it may not be like, the super hype thing for the market at some point, but you're gonna get back to the point where you're like, man, I fucking missed that. Like, oh, I had this bag of weed back, however many years ago, and it was just fucking amazing. Well, you're going to have some sentimental value as far as that goes. So, for me, that's why I like to keep a nice genetic library because you're going to have things like that. Do I like making hype stuff? Yeah, for sure. Does it sell? Absolutely, it does. But you never know where the next kind of thing is going to go, or what are the clients and consumers, what are they wanting, because most of y'all in here, I would imagine, are growers, so we have to listen to our consumers here and where they want us to take that. Yeah, and diesels and sours, like I agree, and that's why I'm doing the gastronaut stuff, because it's going to be basically like some sour OG or chem funk type stuff. Basically taking a lot of the shit that we had, 2010 to 2012, something like that was super fucking popular. It was great, fucking powerful smoke, and doing another reiteration of that as far as like bringing some new genes into this, like the Motor Breath 15 and, things like that. So for me, that's kind of where, like, with the gastronaut, I guess that's kind of where I'm wanting to go with it. Mixing a lot of these sours, but the Motor Breath 15 for Max, homie, was just so fucking good. And it was so fucking potent that to me, that was like the chem that needed to be had, or selected rather, for some of these new sour OG lines and stuff like that. So for me, that's kind of where I'm going with it. And the zero gravity, obviously, as you guys know and we chatted about earlier, um, on its own is just fucking fantastic as well. So I guess that's kind of my premise on why I want to make the gastronaut. But once again, it's like, okay, I want to do this over here, and this is going to appeal to this kind of consumer clientele or whatever, with the gas. And then we'll do some high chew and some other things like that. That's going to have, another type of client that's going to want this. So, it really just depends on, I don't know, where you're at, what the fuck you guys are gonna want, things like that. That's why you have options. That's why I make a lot of fucking seed. Because if you want this, great. If you want this, great. And that's cool, you know? Yeah, and I get it. That's what I'm saying as far as like the candies and stuff like that. I totally get it, and I feel you, brother. You know what I mean as far as that goes. That's, like I said, that's why I making some of the gastronaut and some other things. And if that's not up your alley, that's totally cool. And it is what it is. Whatever you vibe with, you vibe with. Yeah, and that cream sizzle, fruit of the gods, such a stupid good strain. And I think you guys probably saw where that made high times again as far as the centerfold. So real fire, you know. And yeah, 56 beans in 3 packs. That's kind of how it was. Basically, when I made the creamsicles, um, just literally just taking a fucking vial and dumping it in the bag and fucking tossing it in. I had so goddamn many of those things. Um, it wasn't really like counted out. So, I appreciate you guys saying that and everything as far as that goes. Mac 1, I don't know. I I really just never, and I'm not trying to talk shit, guys, but I just never understood what the fuck was the big deal about that. It didn't breed worth a fuck. And if it did breed, most of the shit was fucking mutants. It vegged like a piece of shit. It was slow as fuck. Was not viable commercially whatsoever. Um, maybe it made some good crosses. I don't really fucking know because I've never really honestly paid attention to it. So I'm not trying to talk shit on it, but I just never really understood the big deal as far as that goes. Yeah, Mac 1 is boring in my opinion, bro. I just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a hater or anything, and like I know Capulator's, he's done a lot with it, so I'm not trying to, discount, his work or anything as far as that goes. So I want you guys to know that. Just for me, it personally was not something that I guess, if you will, I would have in my arsenal for breeding purposes or anything of that regard. My favorite strain, that's really tough. I would say, looking back when I was in Boulder, and I would say this would have been like 2008, 2009. There was some SFV up in Nederland, which is just up the canyon from Boulder. Some of my favorite fucking weed ever. And then there was also this res cut of sour D that I was getting packs of, probably around the same time, and that shit was fucking baller. And really, what I kind of use that as my standard, quite frankly. And granted, that's just my own personal opinion and everything. And I've gotten, I got res cuts now and um, East Coast Choco cut, like the Forum cut, and like the '06 sour diesel that Sean sent me, and the Karma sour that's baller. I still feel like that res cut, god damn, I've been trying to fucking track that thing down for probably 10 years now. So I would say that that is some of my favorite smoke. I could smoke that all fucking day and be a happy goddamn camper. The original sour diesel that we have is fucking fantastic. I believe it probably is another red selection, but it's from '06, so it was real early on as far as that goes. And I can't tell you, definitively if that is. I'm just, this is just kind of what I've thought about as far as that goes. It's really fucking fire, though. I would say it's probably from one of those selections, but I could be totally wrong. I have no idea, but it's fire regardless, in my opinion. Bolo runs. Basically, I was talking with Yellow Thumb about this the other day. He was the dude that did the bolo and everything, and it's a beefed up runs. If you like runs, you're gonna like this time stand. When it comes down to it, you know, it yields better. It's easier to grow. I feel like it's more hardy. Like when I'll do like a table or two of that fucking thing, um, it just fucking cranks. I feel like it's more vigorous. Um, I think the original runs may test higher on THC, which to me doesn't mean shit. But it may mean shit to you guys as far as that goes. Just to be straightforward. But in my opinion, I'd use the bolo and I'd grow the fuck out of that over the regular runs, probably 90 to 95% of the time. And I feel like her crosses come out a lot better too, in my opinion. Um, so just being super transparent as far as that goes, guys. She's getting basically got everything cut for it, so it's getting ready to rock and roll. Like I said, that's gonna be the gas fucking sour chem line that if some of you guys are really into that, that's really where you want to be at. You know, um, like I said, what's that? Real solid. I'd say that one's maybe it's definitely less than like the astronaut status, but I would say you're definitely hitting 3 to 3.25 pound per light, something like that, like no problem with that one, in my opinion, depending on how you're growing or what you're doing. You know, so a little bit less than some of those, but it's really fire. And once again, why we selected that was it's a nice hybrid between like the GMO and like the chem side of things with the OG, because GMO and like zero gravity rather, and especially on the Motor Breath 15, like a lot of that shit comes through so fucking hard. So you really have to like do some selections on that, in my opinion, to get to the point where you kind of have that nice, I don't know. For me, I'm an OG lemon fueled type dude. Okay. Triangle Kush is more of like an earthy type of thing going on. So, in my mind, what I'm doing when I'm selecting some of that shit is that I want to have, I want some funk in there, but I also want some of that lemon fuel from the OG to come through. So something like, like a 60-40 hybrid mix rather than just all the fucking chem taking over. Because if that's the fucking case, just grow fucking Motor Breath 15. Like why, it's like why the fuck are you breeding all this stuff if you're just getting the same goddamn results? So I guess for me, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Absolutely, brother. Yep, 100. All right, let's see. What else we got, guys? Yes, Chem 4 is still kicking around Colorado. Bolo runts, from what Yellow Thumb was saying, it's I think it's just a bag seed of runts, quite frankly, that like I said, in my opinion, kind of just crushed it, you know. And I'm not a big like S1 guy, but I will say there's been quite a few times, and you know, look at every fucking OG. It's basically an S1, as far as that goes, of like, Crippy or TK or some shit like that. So I'm not usually a big guy on that, but that Bolo runts is fucking solid. It's really fucking solid, and I really do like it. Yeah, that let's see. Hitting that with the Point Break F2 pollen, that'll be solid. You'll have some good stuff off that. Let's see what you know, I know you got okay. So I see the age of runts is over. It's not. Okay. Maybe in your market or, in your head or something like that it is. Everybody still wants fucking runts or some hybrid of the sort. And look, I understand and I fucking feel you on that. But once again, give your fucking consumers what they want. If you're going to grow something that isn't going to fucking sell, why are you wasting your time, your money, and any resources there? So it's definitely still very, very relevant. Okay. It just depends on how you market it and things like that. Runts is overplayed. I get it. I get it, Kramer. Okay. I understand. But once again, let me reiterate the fact as far as that goes. Okay. Yes, astronaut status is from me. Yes, I made it. Um, Toaster strudel. Um, that was from Lumpy's crew. All right. And got it from Sean Cron. Okay. And if you want, in the search bar when you go into the main chat, just do toaster strudel and you'll find like reckless rainbow and everything as far as that goes. Blue ivy, animal cookies and hash plant, which is something that actually everybody's been kind of sleeping on. You talk about going like back to old school stuff. I mean, how the fuck can you go wrong with animal cookies and hash plant? I mean, come on now, you know. Yes, we have Bolo runts, S1s. I literally just shucked them a little bit ago. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through the chat, guys. Animal blue ivy. Sorry, Steezy. Um, yes. So blue ivy is animal cookies crossed with hash plant. Yes, the toaster strudel crossed with Mai Tai 4. I really don't see how that could be bad whatsoever. I would I would actually pop some of those myself, quite frankly. I only have so much space and everything, and I really do try my best to really, do good fucking selections. And, normally when we're doing a pheno hunt room, it's like a 20 hunt or a 20 light room, okay? Four tables, 120 to 130 per table, depending on plant count and stuff like that. Um, so I feel like you get a pretty good fucking idea if something's like a piece of shit or not. You know, more often than not, it isn't, but you never know, and that's why you got to grow the fucking shit out. You know, you miss smoking jealousy? Well, buy some of them goddamn Gary Satans then, boss. Early bird, it really depends, man. It really does. It depends on how serious you want to like really go down a line and really want to hunt it. Um, if a strain is solid, a pack of seeds, you can get a pretty good idea. But like for me, if I'm breeding this stuff and like selling this to you guys, like I want it to be something that's not just okay. I want it to be fucking excellent, fucking stand out. And really, that's what it comes down to. Like if you have a pack of seeds, and pop them, and you got 12, 13 seeds, great, dude. You're gonna find some good fire in there, and you might find something even better than I do with the amount that I'm popping. But with that being said, I'm gonna have a lot better chance of that with the amount of seeds that I am hunting or selecting from than a smaller amount. And that's just basic, math and science right there. Yeah, those Gary Satans are going to be fire. I'm actually really, really excited for you guys to get those. Um, I mean, look at all the other shit that Tiki and I have done. You know, um, we chat about different things that we want to do and different ideas, and it seems like they've been doing pretty goddamn good from what I see. Yeah, yeah. What's up? Sorry, I just been looking through the chat. What's up, boss? it's really it's tough to say. It's really kind of more up to the grower as far as how they want to go. I was always like, dude, I want the cut. I will pay whatever it is for the cut to get into my stable. I'm really not, just real talk, guys. I'm not really an S1 guy, and I know a lot of people are, and that's totally chill. And quite frankly, you might find a lot better shit out of the S1s. But if I'm breeding and doing putting in work on this stuff, I want the cut. I want to know where it's from. I want to know where it's sourced, and really everything behind that. And I feel like, excuse me, sorry, that's just doing your due diligence as far as a breeder or somebody's who's selling seeds or whatever. I don't know. You can call me a fucking breeder, pollen chuck, or whatever. You know, but I guess that's just kind of my mentality as far as that goes. I'm not a big S1 guy, but I know a lot of people are. And you will find better stuff, quite frankly, in the S1s. I'm just not going to kind of go down that road um, personally. And that's just me, guys. And that's just real talk, just being totally transparent there. And like I said, I'm not trying to shit on S1s or anything. That's just my personal philosophy as far as that goes. Yeah, man. And I know that there's some, people that talk about, OS1s, if you breed off this and this and this, you're going to have, certain tendencies, or, they're going to be herms or things like that. I don't necessarily believe that, but at the same time, I don't want to put a product out there that could potentially, have those tendencies, and I guess I just try to do good work, and I don't want to put that out for people, you know? Yeah, really, really, dude, straight up, like when I get like a cut, um, from somebody, I need to know where this is coming from. I need to know who it's through. I don't fuck around. I mean, I'm sure you guys know there's kind of, kind of upper echelon of stuff that gets traded and everything. At the top I mean, fuck, dude, for the past probably, you know, 10 or 12 years or some shit like that, even more. It's been almost 15 years now. You have to know where that's coming from and have confidence in that person. And that to me is fucking just doing good fucking business. All right? And if you're not doing that, I don't know what the hell you're doing and I won't buy your fucking product, or your clone or anything of that sort. Like the stuff I get, I know exactly who it's from. I can trace it back to the source, and that is how shit should be done. That's good fucking business when you're dealing with like breeding and all of this other stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that's kind of intense, guys, but that's just the way I feel about doing business. I don't like to fuck around, and if I'm giving somebody, a cut or I'm sharing it, like I know that this is this, and I've shared a lot of cuts to a lot of people. Like, dude, Canerado back in the day came back from a fucking vacation, dude, and he needed like all of his OGs back, and I gave him like, 10 or 12 different OGs that I had had. He knew exactly where they came from. I knew where they came from. And that's how we kind of keep our hierarchy here as far as that goes. And I don't want to have that come across you guys as like, oh, we're above this, but it's more of just like credibility wise that we know what's going on here. And not trying to fuck up shit as far as that goes. Hang on, let me let me let me look. Um, so exotic that guy, I don't really know. He does work for us, dude, but I've seen some like really weird telegrams and stuff with that guy. I don't know. I personally would not fuck with him in my opinion, man. Like, dude's name is Mike, all right? And he's always been a solid guy, but I've seen some, stuff lately that, I guess long story short, I wouldn't fuck around with that guy. All right, real talk. Colorado grower is a good dude. He's a good dude. All right. John's very good people, so how did you feel when you found the black velvet line? Well, I personally didn't even find it. It was from this other dude, and we were gonna do a line together. And not really to get into it, but he was selling the cut kind of under the table and shit like that, and it really pissed me off because we were gonna do a you know split like we do with Tiki and I, and when somebody comes to the table, and wants to do something like that, like that's great, but if you don't abide by the certain stipulations that are put in place, what am I to do? So I didn't find it, but I sure as hell was going to make a line off of it. It was fantastic. And yeah, Big Al, he's a good dude too. Definitely, we'll get some stuff popping with him too. Got nothing but love for that guy. He's come out and toured the facilities and whatnot. Um, Real solid guy. So I think we'll be doing some collabs there as well. No, this is this is definitely Steezy. What I do for a living. I mean, I'm passionate about obviously other things, man, but this is kind of my thing. I, come from a farming background and things of that nature. So this is very, very much so my passion, my career, and um, really what I use to, help my family and everything in that regard, man. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Aside from apple tarts, do you recommend any strains that carry a somewhat tart apple fruit flavor? Um, a lot of the apple fritter line was really solid. The grainy apple sass, that was very appley as well. Maybe you guys can chime in a little bit more to help with this guy. But those are just kind of the things that come to my mind. Um, a lot of the apple mints definitely did, from what I've gotten as far as feedback wise. So really, anything there, boss, you really can't go wrong, in my opinion. Yeah, the apple mints. Yeah, early bird's right. I've been seeing that a lot. Really, really nice apple flavor there. So that's what I would say, boss. How purple is powder keg? Um, I mean that whole line was pretty purple, dude. You know. Um, in fact, I've seen a lot of features and um, mags and definitely different posts that people have tossed up on the powder keg. The powder keg was fucking fire. I know a lot of people have actually been looking for that lately. So I would, if you have a pack or something of that, I'd, I'd definitely pop it, boss. Yeah, Cameron. Yep, 20K, bro, for the S ones. That was a good one. I'll give you I'll give you a like on that one. Yeah, the Gary Payton Applemints was really, really fire. Um, I was really excited about the Applemints line, and like these guys were saying, really did turn out some really fucking fire like apple phenos and everything. Yeah, Dake. What the fuck was that guy's name again? Uh, yes. Oh man. I'm sorry. I always love when you call that guy the punching bag too. I personally, Steezy, I would not say that whatsoever. I don't think Gary Payton was really like it. It's sold. You know what I'm saying? But I personally don't think it's really anything fucking special. Like to me, it's just another like gassy cookies hybrid. I really don't know what the fuck makes it so special or why it's such in demand or anything of that nature. In my opinion. And by the way, let me also say, Powers Up is like he's done some good work and everything like that. So I'm not trying to, shit on anybody as far as that goes. He does his thing and he's done a lot of good work. I for me, I got the my boy's gonna send the original Thin Mint cookies. And I'm gonna kind of work some of that with a couple different things. I know a lot of people are tired of cookies and shit like that. I get it, but kind of bringing it back to the origins where you can kind of, deviate from that and make some new things might be kind of interesting. We'll see. We'll see. I don't fucking know. I don't have a crystal ball here, guys. You know what I mean? But let's maybe see what we can do with this and see if we can get some, interesting things coming out of that. I personally thought Gary's structure was fantastic, quite frankly. Um, I don't, I don't know if you didn't, get a legit cut or something, but um, in my opinion, I like that structure. It's got a nice little cola on top, and you got some thick ass neck bones with not a whole lot of leaf matter and stuff like that. So, I mean, and once again, to each their own, you guys, some shit doesn't work out, and it's also up to you as far as like what you like, you know. But yeah, I mean, you gotta fucking do something to see if where the results may lie. All right, at the end of the day here, and Gary, and you guys know I've been very, very transparent on that. Gary is tough to breed with because of some of the intersexing things as far as that goes. So it's really not something I like to use a ton. A lot of people want it, but you know, it's tough to like breed with and basically have to give people like a fucking disclaimer like, well, you really need to watch the lowers on this stuff. Like, is he going to be fire? Yeah. But if you're not willing to, invest the effort in really, monitoring some of this stuff on a daily or by, 1 or 2 day basis as far as that goes, and you're just wanting to run something and just, fucking let it do its thing, probably not for you. So it's just things like that that you really have to keep in mind. It is a good plant, it is a good clone, but at the end of the day, it really boils down to kind of your tolerance on things of that nature, how much you want to watch it and whatnot. All right, gentlemen, what else we got here? Hang on. Let's see. Cousin love, yes, Scott. Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, I'd rather just run like, and well, breed with like thin mint, and like I said, take it kind of back to the origin of it, like where everything fucking came from anyway. You know, all of these things are happy little accidents, like Bob Ross says. Okay, so if you can kind of bring it back there and maybe go a different direction on things, it might be kind of interesting. It might not. It might fucking suck. Like, you don't know. So, you like I said, you got to at least fucking try, or if you have a conceptual idea that you may want to do, well, fucking do it, you know? And there's no harm in that. There's no harm, no foul. Some stuff may suck. And I'll be like I said, the first one to tell you guys, like, no, man, this thing was fucking garbo. All right. And you just got to kind of fucking own that. And if it is, well, it is what it is. Let's get on to the next one. Let's keep her going. Let's keep the fuck. Oh, dude. That fucking high chew, man. Like, you guys don't, I mean, Scott does, but like, you guys don't even fucking know. That thing is just fucking great. I've been just shucking these seeds all goddamn day. And my wife's been pissed off at me because I've been fucking off on that and took my kid to baseball and everything. But man, really, really good stuff. And I think that it's going to be a really, really good line. And it's something I've been like really, really hyped up for. You guys know I've been talking about it for a while and everything. So I have a lot of confidence in that line. I think it's going to be great. Um, some of the crosses that are going to come out of that, straight up, I'm honestly even going to probably keep for myself some of them. And this is where I was talking about earlier, and kind of to preface that, like, these are going to be some of the new lines that are going to be coming out through that. Like I said, we have some of the gas stuff over here. We have some new stuff over here that, once again, like I was saying, is not Mai Tai or zero gravity or anything like that. It's really pushing stuff in a new direction to see what the hell we find here. And I'm very, very interested and curious, and I think that you guys are going to find some fucking baller stuff in here. I would say 2, 3 weeks max on the high chews. Maybe 3 weeks, because I like to let them rest, you guys, and kind of like store them in the fridge and everything. So the germination rates may be a little bit better. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've always done. I've talked with Chris from Compound. He does the same thing as far as that goes. So yeah, I would say 3 weeks just to be safe. But yeah, I mean it's right around the corner here. So let's see what is it? It's the yeah, okay. So by the end of the month here, we'll absolutely have stuff up on the site for that. Okay. I personally don't like putting them in the freezer. I understand what it does, as far as basically, thinking the seeds are going into like a hibernative period. I like to just keep them in the fridge. Um, I don't know, and maybe that's wrong, but putting them in a freezer really fucking scares me if I'm putting, 100,000 seed in a freezer or something of the sort, you know, and something happens to them. Not going to be a really good day as far as that goes, and something fucks up. So I personally don't put them in the freezer. It definitely like makes sense, and yes, they're coming out of, like the winter and yada yada. But I just like to keep it at a really solid um, fridge temp as far as that goes. You know how we do. You know how we do, Scott. Point eight, baby, all fucking day. Yep, yep. And a lot of times, yeah, man, Maurice, you're right, dude. Like, I've had stuff where I've not given a shit about for like 10 years, and I'll pop it and it's totally fine. It's more like for, the consumers, and just doing right by the product and making sure that you're doing as much as you can to, keep that viability intact. Exactly. So it is what it is. It may have no bearing on your germination rates. It may, but I'd rather be like proper for you guys, and fucking put them, rest them, put them in the fucking fridge for a while, let them chill, and then we can go to market. And then at the end of the day, it's like, well, I did everything I could for the viability for this potential customer, or whatnot. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And that's really what it boils down to. Like I want all y'all on here to be fucking happy with not only the beginning product but the end product as well. It's an all-encompassing type of thing as far as that goes. And you know what? If your end product is shit or your first seeds look like garbo little fucking, white seeds and you don't have any, success as far as germination, you know, it looks like shit. It's not a good look for me or my company or anything as far as that goes. So I really do try to take that into consideration. Um, and it is something I do take very, very seriously, guys. All right. And you know, we always want to give you guys the best product possible and get your best foot forward as far as shit like that goes. You know, like you don't want to be behind the fucking eight ball with some shitty seeds that aren't germinating or just some fucking mutant, stupid little runt type things. All right? We don't want that. We want vigorous fucking seeds so you guys can do your thing with them. Really, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Let's see what else we got. Yes, we can get a rabbi to teabag the fucking seed, Scott. A lot of times, if you got really good, viable looking seeds, it's not the seed's fault. And it's not your guys' fault either. A lot of it is just genetically how hard that fucking shell is on those seeds. So you can do things like you can have some, hydrogen peroxide. You can pre-soak, like in some water, something like that. I've even heard of people like, something like gibberellic acid back in the day, as far as that goes. So really, if you get nice, good-looking seeds, they're probably viable. If something doesn't germinate, more often than not, it's literally the fucking plant can't make it out of that shell. And there are seed crackers and things like that. If you guys want to look into some stuff like that, I personally never have. But then again, when I pop seeds, obviously, like I have a quantity, so I'll just probably fucking squish the goddamn thing open to fucking pop it out. But you know, it really comes down to a lot of the technique. I I personally usually don't pre-soak. All right. So I usually don't pre-soak in water. I usually just pop them right in the paper towel. I'm just, old school as far as like paper towel method. That's what I do. Put in a fucking Ziploc, good to go. But like I said, there are like some seed crackers and stuff like that go, and there are some things um, that you can do to help some of that. A lot of it, like I said, is genetic based. I have no control over like if I make, you know, X amount of seeds of this cross that it's going to totally germinate. If the seeds look good, like I said, they're viable, but it might just have a hard shell on it. It might just need a little help to get out of there. Yeah, Mikkel, exactly, dude. That was like the old school technique that you did, man. Yep, sandpaper and a matchbox, and you shake that son of a bitch up, and there you go. You kind of grind it off like the ass end of that thing, and she starts to pop open. So there are, some techniques and things that you can use. Granted, I really don't hear a lot about germination problems with a lot of my gear, but it is something good for you guys to know as far as that goes. How long have I been growing? Let's see. Technically, a lot of my first plants, we had we had a little hill outside by one of our cornfields. They used to get a whole bunch of fucking nitrates and shit. We used to call it Marijuana Hill, and that would have been in about 2002, I would say. But really started growing and kind of taking it seriously, I would say 2008, man. So what's 15 years now? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, little earth dust. Yeah, what makes them hard, dude, is just the shell. You just got to get them out of the shell. They're very, very viable. You have healthy little seeds in there, but you need to crack that fucking shell there. I agree. There's a lot of dampening off that I see with a lot of people, like way, way too fucking moist. Like, and especially with clones too. Like, if you're setting clones and you got that shit just like drenched, you're just fucking everything up. You gotta there's a certain limit as far as like your moisture content that is what you're looking for here. And I hear people, they'll send me messages like, "Oh, it germinated, but it didn't go anywhere." Well, you fucking drown the seed, and it's like a lot of the times, like I'll help you out, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you have to take responsibility for your own actions and not drown your fucking seeds, you know? Like, don't leave them in a paper towel that's just super soaked for like a week or something. Like, I can't do anything about that. Yes, moist, not wet. That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, really, it is about dissolved oxygen. Like, if something's absolutely saturated, it's not going to do what you want it to do. You really have to watch that shit. It's not like a set it and forget it thing like, "Oh, I'm going to crack these seeds and I'm not going to watch them for, 5 to 7 days or something like that." Like, no, every day be monitoring it. Look at it. And it's like if you pay good money for this stuff, it's your fucking investment. So take it seriously. And I really just don't understand sometimes when people will spend a good amount of change on something and then totally fuck it off and then blame, said breeder. I'm not even talking about myself, but just like some of my buddies as well. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, no, like monitor this stuff, you know? It's time too. And guys, it fucking time is money, okay? So it's not only the money that you're losing, but it's your fucking time too. And there's been plenty of times in my life where I've definitely fucked that up. So time is money. I know it's cliche. I get it, but time is money. Yep, exactly. If you fuck off a pack, you don't keep track of it, you get dampened off and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, well, you're 2 weeks behind right now. And once again, time is money, dude. You're 2 weeks behind the schedule here, where you need to be on your next crop if you're really wanting to actually crop shit. You know, like with my stuff, you know, dude, if I have like 1 week where I'm fuck something up or whatever, and I definitely do so. Okay, I'm human. All right, I make mistakes. It's it definitely does take a toll. So I guess for me, I guess what I'm saying is like really be aware of that. And if you're gonna do something, fucking do it right. Exactly. Yes. I guess that's maybe a better way of putting it, brother. All right, let's see what else we got, guys. Any other questions here? Good. Fuck yes, it is. Maybe that's a good one for you, Cajun. How long do you flip before, or veg before flip, brother? Really, to me, what that says is don't get behind the fucking eight ball. You know what I mean? Before you're ready to go to town on stuff, you know. And I'm the same way. I it does not matter how long it takes to veg something. Once again, not trying to talk shit, but like say I got some fucking Mac one or some shit that's just takes fucking 4 weeks to fill out a goddamn little veg area here. It is what it is, and you have to respect the plant and its genetics for that. For me, I usually I'll wait till like the first trellis is on, and I'm about to the bars. I got, and granted, this is in a large room too, so it's probably a lot different than some of you guys as far as that goes. But I think he said it very, very well. When it's time, and don't fucking rush the process. Otherwise, you're gonna have subpar results at the end of the day. And why the fuck would you not wait one more week to get something vegged in proper? And at the end of the day, you have something that you're not very fucking proud of and your consumers don't want. So I guess I've never understood rushing the veg process personally. Like, get your shit in line, do not get behind the eight ball, and when it's ready to go, get that fucker raging. Yes. Yes. Veg is your baseline. Veg is really what you need to focus on. And, after that, yeah, like, the fun and games begin and everything. But if you're not setting yourself up for success, you're going to fail. And I always tell my guys and everybody too, set your fucking self up for success. Don't pussyfoot around and not and cut corners and not do shit how you should because you want to flip a fucking room. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself prepared, get it where it needs to be, and then flip it and rock and roll, guys. I see that a lot too, boss. For real, dude. I see a lot of people where like the plants look good, but like, you look at the root zone, it just looks like fucking garbo, you know. And a lot of it's, oh god, we could go down the fucking rabbit hole in that one as far as like drybacks and everything like that. And crop steering and stuff. And I know we've touched on that before, but that's a whole nother fucking gamut as far as that goes. And yes, GMO, yes, please, guys, wear proper PPE. I mean, that's very very basic stuff. If you're using like, dry amendments, anything like that, wear a fucking mask. Anytime you're spraying, wear a fucking mask and goggles. Anything of the sort. Just very very basic stuff. And yes, don't roll scissors. Yes, that looks good, Jars. I mean that's a good filled canopy. That's really how it should look. Um, you know, get your shit tucked in there. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, he's doing a good job there. You guys see that? Really, depending on your trellis size, get those fucking things tucked up in there. Use your lights to your advantage. Use your canopy spacing, and as far as that goes, And yes, yeah, exactly. Protect your eyes and lungs and shit like that, guys. And a lot of stuff that we do is obviously like on a commercial type of thing. So we may have, a bit more PPE. Well, we have to as far as like um, stuff that we need to do with the, Department of Agriculture and stuff like that. But just even home growers don't just kind of take it as willy nilly stuff. I know there's a lot of times over the years for me before I was kind of, you know, when I was up in the mountains and didn't have to have like the compliancy that we do, which we do abide by, it kind of almost falls by the wayside. And just please be very conscious of y'all's health. You know, it really is important to wear a lot of that shit. Let's see. Any experience with or knowledge on oh I remember back in the day, man, chocolate diesel, early bird. Fuck dude, that was probably like 2010 though, when I had gotten a cut of something of that sort. I don't even know what it was or the lineage or anything, but it's been a long time. Yeah, dude, and if you're defoliating and you're touching pistols and like literally every fucking pistol is brown in the room, if I come through there, yeah, fucking canned. Yep, yep, exactly, dude. Yep. All right, let's see what else. Let's get a couple more in here and let's wrap this up, guys. Okay. Yeah, she's gotten sprayed down and got a lot of really good shit with that. I'm pretty stoked. I'll have to see the entire lineup. There was a couple that didn't make it in that I was kind of bummed about, real talk, guys, but most of them made it in, and I think it's going to be really fucking solid. It's like, oh, they're probably about 3 feet tall, entire 5x5. So it's going to be like way sweet for me spraying those down. I usually when I spray down stuff, I spray such a high concentration of STS that like if anything like drips into the soil or the medium, um, it could potentially kill it. So what I'll do is I'll take those out. I'll put it on like basically on its side on the ground, spray them down, rotate them, spray it again, put them back in there when they're dry. So we're getting ready to go with that, and I'm really excited about the line. So we'll have the high chews here in about 3 weeks, like we talked about, and then I would say it'll take probably another 7 or 8 weeks now with the blue raz. The gastronaut's going to be right on the tail of that, and then also the headhunter collab with Tiki. Yes. We're doing all of we have about 600 that we're doing of the runts crossed with zero gravity. So we'll go through those. We'll kind of see what's up. Like I was saying earlier, guys, I'm trying to get away from kind of like, this, corner of just like, all zero gravity or whatever. But those were really, really special. And Cajun, you saw that some of those pictures and stuff that I had sent you as far as that goes. So we'll run through a lot of those. We'll select them, and if they're great, fucking great. If they're not, and it's not up to snuff, well, fuck it. It is what it is, and you just got to keep rolling on. And I'm not going to give somebody or work a line that's of subpar product. I think they're going to be fantastic, quite frankly, from what I've seen. But it also gives me a better idea of like, I have the four winners here that have really been selected, and I get to grow them out a different, set of times in a different room and everything, and really see how these things fucking perform. And at the end of the day, it's all about performance, right? We all want we want good yields. We want high THC content for potential consumers or clients or anything of the sort. And we want it to be easy to trim, just all sorts of shit, all the boxes checked. And if it doesn't do that, get it the fuck out of here because we don't have time for that. I like that. Yeah, if you guys definitely and like you said, dude, a lot of people are going to cocoa and stuff, so I feel like that is a very very important topic to kind of address and get people on the right path there. Yes, it is very involved. So if you guys do want to do this, I'll definitely do it. But get your fucking notebook ready. Yes. All right. So you guys hear that? I got a bunch of hats and everything. I think I have some sweatshirts and stuff like that. I'm kind of waiting on some of the other stuff from one of my boys, the guy that does like my marketing and stuff. I'm just waiting on some of his stuff, but we definitely do have some stuff ready to rock and roll. So we can get that popping. But yeah, I mean, we definitely have some giveaways for y'all that kind of stood, through here and stuff. Maybe you can elaborate just a little bit more on that Cajun, if you would, please, bud. Very good. I like that. Let's rock and roll as far as that goes. We got some good shit. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and everything. And it'll definitely be some new for the folks that were in the chat. Okay. All right. Well, it's all good. Just let's get it posted up in the Discord for the guys that were here, and just make sure that everybody's on the same page. Okay. All right, sounds good, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for fucking tuning in. If you guys need anything, always just give me a fucking holler. I'm always here. All right, and we'll get this next drop going, and we'll fucking rock it out. Okay. All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you so much.